We have a very, very, very special guest joining the show. Today we are joined by one of the biggest stars on the UFC roster. He's the former Cage Warriors champion, currently ranked the number 8 lightweight contender, but after last night, he may be next in line for the title. He is Liverpool's finest, the UFC baddie, Paddy Pimblett. Welcome to the show.
Oh, baby.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Verse Us with Eric Nixick. He is Eric Nixick. I am Randy Fainrich, and this is Verse Us. And you know the drill. Verse Us is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. At MyBookie, you bet, you win, they pay. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good.
How's your last 12 hours been?
Yeah, the last 12 hours quite funny. Getting in the cage last night was hilarious. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Was that expected? Did you think if he were to win that you were going to be getting in there?
50-50, you know what I mean? Because he's been talking about me all week, saying he wins. And then we were talking about it the other day. He was saying if he gets him out of there in the first 2, and it's very possible. Like, I thought if Charles could get him to the later rounds, might have been a bit different. But I really like Charles, but what the fuck was that game plan, lad? You know what I mean? Stand in front of him and get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Dude.
I wanted to ask you, both of you, about that. Like, obviously the fight was so quick, but what did you guys both think of the fight?
Kind of the same. He just kept crossing traffic and was getting caught with that right hand at one point. And then, I just wanted to see a better fight. That's all. Like, I didn't care who won, but I did want to see a little bit more action out of Charles.
Yeah.
I also think, man, you got to kick this guy. Like, you got to throw kicks at him.
Exactly.
You got to use your length.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there was just none of that to. When you have that advantage, why wouldn't you use it?
Yeah.
So.
First 20 seconds, he did a little bit, teeped him, leg kicked, and I was thinking, we could be in for a tough night for Topuria, and then Charles got it once and just started swinging with him. But when he was walking out, I did turn to Graham and say, he looks nervous.
Yeah.
And when Ilia walked out, he was just smiling. It's like, that's going to play a part in this year.
Yeah, his confidence was. His confidence is always, high. But
sure.
when Buffer, I was telling my wife, when Buffer was introducing Oliveira, Poirier was like clapping, like golf, like not like let's go clap, like a golf clap, like, oh man, good job, Charles. Like,
right.
I'm like, oh fuck, like this dude is fucked. We talked about it last week. Charles is a long lightweight, right? He's a big guy, and it didn't seem like he used any of those tools to his advantage. He caught Topuria early. That first right hand he threw landed flush. But I don't know. Maybe he thought he could strike with him after that. I don't know.
I don't know what. As I say, I'd love to know what their game plan was, because that was just like, it was half embarrassing. Like, where did the cut come from as well? That's what I was thinking.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
When like Topuria ended up on top of him, I was like, oh, Oliveira's cut.
Yeah.
Obviously that would have been in his eye a little bit and easier to get it, but still, what are you doing just standing in the middle and swinging punches with him when he's a top class boxer and he's got power? It's just, it blew my mind how stupid he could be after it was his 47th pro fight.
Yeah.
And he was going in there like an amateur.
Yeah. It's like that Pereira effect we talked about, where people almost like the aura becomes bigger than the fighter, and you kind of like
you're
throw caution
that,
to the wind, and you forget your game plan, and because that's how Pereira was. He fought some wrestlers before Ankalaev, but nobody shot, nobody tried to take him down. They tried to stand and bang with him, and it ends up being that way. I think the cut came from, again, when he landed that right hand. I think Topuria came back, and I think the glove, because you know how y'all's gloves sometimes can like. I think that's what happened.
Well, Charles has got a lot of scar tissue as well. He's had loads of cuts over these. That's the thing, he's got loads of damage.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had a fight like that. I want to have a war with someone, know what I mean? But I've never had one. I've never took a sustained amount of damage in my life. He wouldn't knock me out. You know what I mean? He could hit me with his best punch and I'd laugh in his face.
When you got in the cage, you guys have been around each other before, but when you got in the cage, were you, I guess, shocked by how much bigger you were than him, or no? Because on camera it looked like, I was like, oh, he's actually that much bigger than him. Like,
I've said this before in several interviews. People just think he'd steamroll me, you know what I mean? But it's different when there's that much size difference. People think that, I'm not good enough to go against him and stuff like that. But laddie, he's a midget. So I said to them, I will finish you, little boy. You know what I mean? Because he's like that much shorter than me. I'm so much wider than him.
Yeah.
Like, and that plays a part. That's why people cut weights. That's why you get to a certain weight division. Because, like, I love Kevin Holland and I want him to keep fighting at welterweight. But when he fights at middleweight, he gets ragdolled. You know what I mean? He said it himself after the Kamzat fight, I need to stop fighting at middleweight.
Yeah.
That 10, 15 pounds makes a big difference. And as I said, I'd just kick up Topuria around the cage. I can't wait to shock a lot of people.
Yeah. When do you in your ideal time frame, end of this year, like when was that? When would that fight happen?
I wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi, but he won't do a quick turnaround like that, which I understand. You know what I mean? You've just done a fight camp, you've just fought and won the belt. You want to be happy for a little bit and not get back on the diet. But as I say, I'm game to fight him then. I'm game to fight him before the end of the year. I'm game to fight him next year. But we'll see what happens. We don't know what the UFC is going to do because it's not my decision. Ultimately, it's not his decision. It's Dana Hunter and Sean's decision. But I think it's the only fight to make. You know what I mean? We haven't seen two people genuinely dislike each other since Conor Khabib. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's always dead cordial and all right, where I hate him. I absolutely hate him. Like, I want to inflict pain on his life. You know what I mean? I'd like that fight to go 4 minutes, 50 seconds into the 5th round, and I've landed 907 elbows, and I've disfigured his face. You know what I mean? I don't want a quick knockout. I want to put him through pain.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I like that
mean,
mentality.
I'm sold already. Did you see Dana saying, like, he didn't expect you guys to go in the cage, whatever, but do you feel like that actually plays, favor plays into your favor now that the fans have seen you guys in the cage, now that they want that fight even more? Because Arman's great. He's a great fighter, but it doesn't do it, it doesn't do it for
no one because he's a little bellend. No one likes Arman. You know what I mean? He's a little posh boy. I had everything given to him on a plate his whole life, so expected in the UFC.
Yeah.
Like, when he got put up, Gaethje got put up, and I got put up, and the biggest fan reaction was when I got put up.
Yeah.
That's probably why Joe Rogan mentioned me again to Topuria, and he said, get him in the cage.
Yeah.
Like, I understand what Dana said. That shouldn't have happened. His wife and son was in the cage. I know, but I'm never going to hit someone in the cage like that. I'm never going to steal it on someone. I've got more about me than that. You know what I mean? I'd never want to steal it on someone. I wouldn't have even pushed him the way he pushed me. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do that. Especially after he's just won a fight. Even though he didn't take much damage, I'm not going to hit someone with no glove on and steal it on them and fucking potentially cause them brain damage. As much as I hate him, I hate him. I'd still want to do it under respectful circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
But it made me laugh what Topuria said when he got asked about it. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see.
He got asked about it and he said, I heard Dana not happy and stuff like that. And Dana said if I was there it wouldn't have happened. And Topuria just went, but Dana wasn't there, was he? That's awesome. I started laughing. He was videoing me watching it last night, started laughing and was like, I like that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Where like, can we go back to where this like started, like where the feud started? Because I think everybody saw like the whole sanitizer bottle thing and all that stuff.
That was in Anaheim, right?
Yeah, where did it?
That was in London now.
Oh, was I was there.
Yeah, the bottle. That was in London now.
Yeah, but how did the heat start? Like where did
when
start?
I first signed with the UFC, his friend, who's now being cut from the UFC because he's shite, Guram Kukhtaladze, however you say his name, he just tweeted something at me, lad, and I just said back, he said, like, how welcome to the UFC. And I went, lad, who the fuck are you talking to? You fake Russian. No, because he had a baldy head and the beard. And everyone went off on me. I was like, oh, what's going on here? They don't like being compared to Russians. And obviously I fed on that. Like, one of them said something, and I just said...
just needle a little more, needle a little
I
more.
just said, shut up, you fucking... no wonder the Russians terrorise us, something like that. And then, lad, I went to bed, and I woke up the next morning, and my phone had blew up. And I mean, blew up. I had that Bell Beta Bird who Molly beat. I had Guram, I had Ilia, all just commenting shit to me. And I was like, wow, what's going on here? And it still annoys me to this day, because even when on Rogan and said it to Porier, he said, Paddy say, it's good that Russia dropped bombs on Georgia and killed children. I was like, I never said that.
Never said that.
I never said anything like that. I'd never celebrate people getting killed, especially kids. And I don't know. It must be a language barrier where I've said terrorize, which by ours, that's just like you've been bullied.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Terrorize is just a word we use every day. I don't know if where the language barrier is, you think that means war. But like, if it is, go and learn proper English, Ilia, because it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know Spanish is your first language, lad, but go and learn proper English. Because I just, as I say, it was just an off-the-cuff comment. After it, though, I did say, I was like, listen, if anyone's interpreted that the wrong way, I'm sorry, but it never meant that. You know what I mean? And I can remember speaking to Gaethje about it. Like, I had a full conversation with him. And that was after Ilia had tried to steal it on me, tried to jump me. And I'll be honest, that was in Anaheim, I think. He come over to me when I went to toilet, just me and him on our own, and I was thinking, this could go off here.
Yeah.
If he's anything like Ilia, this could go off.
This was in Anaheim?
Yeah.
At what fight?
You were there? Was it Atlanta? Where was it that time we went to? When Chandler knocked? No, that was San Diego. It was when Chandler knocked Tony Ferguson out.
Oh, that was Phoenix.
Phoenix, sorry. It was in Phoenix.
Phoenix, yeah.
He came over to me and he just spoke to me. You know what I mean? Like, we spoke about it and he was like, I was involved in the war. My dad put a machine gun on me back, and I was like, lad, what I said had nothing to do with any war. Like,
right.
People might interpret it wrong, but lad, it's nothing to do with that. And he shook me hand and all that, and I was like, I understand. And like, he come over to me and spoke to me about it like a man.
Yeah.
And understood where I was coming from, and I understood where he was coming from. And that's how Ilia probably should have done it. But at the time, Ilia was a nobody, and I was a somebody. So he wanted to become a somebody off my name. I still say to this day, he wouldn't have got a title shot that fast if it wasn't for me and him having beef.
Yeah.
Because no one knew who he was. You know what I mean? He's just a McGregor clone.
What's up, guys? Just want to say thanks for continuing your support for the Versus Pod. If there's anything you guys like to see more, guests, comments, constructive criticism, whatever it may be, love to hear your thoughts. Please like and subscribe to the show. Thank you guys for tuning in, and enjoy the show.
Dang, I didn't know all that backstory. I had no idea. I just remembered you guys crossing paths in London and
no, yeah, that, like, as I say, that was him trying to be a bully on his part, because I was on my own.
Yeah.
I was stood there warming eggs up in a microwave, and he comes out of a double set of doors with about 10 people. You know what I mean? I'm like, let's see what happens here. Like, it was funny as well, because one of my coaches, Ellis, and him, and like my cameraman and that, were like, wait there, lad, we'll come down with you. I was like, lad, I'm only going to warm my eggs up, I'll be 5 minutes. And it's probably a good job that they weren't there, though, because Ellis would have knocked about 3 Georgians out. You know what I mean? Like, Ellis would have seen red and just started laying people out. So it's probably better that never happened, because it would have caused much more commotion than it did. Yeah. But he just come over and like, I went, what's happening, lad? And like smiled at him. And I think he might have went to, I can't even remember now, was it a left hook he went to throw or a right hand? He went to throw something at me. So I just stepped back and there was a bottle of hand sanitizer there, so I just picked it up and launched it off the you know what I mean? And as you say, the rest is history, laddie. Yeah. He started to throw another punch, I think, and I pushed the table at him. And it's funny because his little manager come round to run around the tables, and I turned and looked at him and went like that. He went like that. And he, what's it called? Like, we just started shouting back and forth at each other. And it's funny, someone's asking me about this the other day. I've got the bottle of hand sanitizer in the gym.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you have a sign or something?
I've written on it, Mr. Hand Sanitizer, and signed it. And if we do fight...
I was just going to say, you know how he does the roses? You got to lay down the bottle of hand sanitizer in the middle of the
press
octagon.
conference, lad, defo. But then obviously we both fought again, like 6 months later, when I had my very close fight with Jared Gordon, and he beat Bryce Mitchell. At the press conference, it was like we were fighting each other. You know what I mean? We were going at each other. Yeah. And then we never fought on the same card since then, I don't think. We haven't fought on the same card. I think the UFC wants to keep us apart.
Yeah.
Well, that's the fight we got to make now, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got steam.
It's funny when I seen him in London, like, he was on the stage with Hunter, and it was funny because I thought, this could get a bit tastier. In the back, the security, the security's like with the UFC come over to me, because they were definitely like that with Strickland and DDP after what happened. They come over to me and stood round me and was like, he's coming through here, and I was like, sound. And as he walked through with Hunter, and I was just looking at him, and he looked at me and smiled and went like that. So I just done it back. I went like that back, laughing.
Yeah.
And we were just laughing about it. And then when I got to the front and he was stood there, like I was walking out with my teammate, I didn't want to take the shine off my teammate by fucking arguing with him. And he was stood next to Hunter, so I just went like that, you know what I mean, and touched him down. And like the amount of shit I seen online after it was like, you have just ruined 2 years of build-up.
Like breaking cases.
And like, it was all fake and all shit like that. I was like, why? Because I didn't want to cause commotion on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people are just mad.
You mentioned it earlier, like when you guys look at him, like how do you break down a fighter like that? Because he's obviously a really good fighter, but like you said, kicking the legs, maybe using like distance. What are some of the things you can take advantage of against him?
He's a very good all-round fighter, lad. That's one thing what I always say. Like I respect him as a fighter, and he doesn't respect me. So I genuinely think if he fought me, he wouldn't train as hard. He just thinks he'd beat me. You know what I mean? I don't think he'd put as much hard work and dedication into his fight camp as he does in his last 3. Like, you know, he's on a legendary run, lad. He's knocked fucking Halloway and Oliveira out 3 fights on the bounce, lad. That's an unbelievable last 3 fights. I still think he wouldn't have knocked Volk out if Volk didn't take the fight too quick, like, after getting a kick by Islam.
Yeah.
But it's fate, innit? What happens, like. But yeah, I would kick him everywhere. Like I am Steven Gerrard in 2005 in the Champions League.
What do you see? The same kind of thing?
Bro, we talked about this with the Oliveira fight for the last breakdown. It's like you have to occupy his hands.
Yeah.
And if you have the length and you have good kicks, how do you occupy power? You got to kick him in the forearms, dude. You got to occupy his rear hand with your left kick. Try to take some of the steam off of his punches. Inside, outside, low kicks, break his base down. Try to time some of his rhythm because he does have like a same rhythm pattern with the way that he'll slip inside, kind of roll. There's a rhythm pattern that he has with his kind of his feints in his hands. I think Jai Herbert did a very good job of like almost putting something in that motion where that kick came up. So yeah, I think if anything, I'd be very kick heavy versus him, and then try to have something at B range and then A range. With him.
Obviously I've never fought. I'm not in this like that, but am I often thinking, because everyone talks about how good his boxing is,
sure,
but he's there to be hit, right? Like I see him get hit in almost every fight. The Volk fight, he had cuts. The Halloway fight, and obviously these are great fighters, but am I off on that? Like he's there to be hit, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think a lot of the things that when he does throw for power, if you watch him in the center of the cage, he's very different stylistically. And then when he moves you to the choke points of the cage, that's when you see a lot of like his finishing.
I think that's where
sequences.
He's best, when he has you pushed against the cage. That's where he's at his best. Again, I do not know what Oliveira was doing when he gets it with that right hand. His left hand's down here. You know what I mean? I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know if he's going for clinch. Don't know. I'm still baffled by what Oliveira was doing. Like, as I say, when he walked out, he looked nervous, and it showed in the fight.
Yeah. Impressive performance, and I can't wait for that to happen. Hopefully Vegas, and selfishly, Vegas in December or something like that. So
they're probably going to do it in Vegas, as they say. It's the fight capital of the world.
Or that March card that they do every year.
They'll probably want it.
And that'll be their new broadcast deal, so kick off.
By that time?
Yeah, by next year. Yeah, they'll be on, whatever.
Doesn't it end before the end of this year?
ESPN technically ends this year, so the new broadcast deal will kick off in January.
Yeah.
So like whatever it is, if the pay-per-views are still ESPN and then Netflix and Amazon, whatever it is. But I'm just saying, like, if you have you and Ilia, Amanda and Kayla, Aspinall, whatever, those are strong fights to kick off a new broadcast deal, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of the rest of the card? I thought it was a pretty good card. That Van Royval fight was fucking awesome.
I think that's the best fight I've ever watched.
Really?
In person.
Fucking
in
crazy.
person, like in the arena. That's possibly the best fight I've ever watched.
I couldn't believe that Royval was an underdog. Like,
I couldn't. I said that.
It was pretty shocking to me, but goddamn, man, this kid Van is good.
Yeah.
But dude, like, you're watching this Royval fight, and I'm waiting for him just to make like a single leg or an attachment, just to make Van think about it. Right? Like just make him think. And then Royval's got such good like transitional submissions. Seen him jump on guillotines. He choked out Kai Kara-France. Like, give me just one little other element.
Yeah.
if you have a little bit of edge, why not show that part of it?
Yeah.
It just, I mean, it was one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life.
Sure.
I'm just thinking from Royval's standpoint, you're number one. You're guarding your place for the next title shot versus a guy who took the fight on 3 weeks' notice.
Yeah.
Why not test him in other areas of the game?
Yeah, you want to have a good fight, but the name of the game is to win, first and foremost.
We talk about this all the time. All the time. It's like, why do guys get away? Like, you know, again, Bilal, and not taking anything away from Jack Della. Like, he fought an amazing fight, but like guys like that they almost get Twitter in their head too much. And it's like you get away from the game plan. It's like, bro, the game is to win.
Yeah.
Like, if you smother him for 5 rounds, who gives a fuck what the fans are saying? Like, your job is to win, to provide, to make money, get 2 paychecks. Like, that's your job, you know?
That's what I love about Aspinall. Like, when I talk to him, he's like, why would I flip a coin versus Alex Perriera?
Yeah, right.
He's like, I'm shooting a double from across the cage. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
I want to win. I don't care how you do it.
Yeah. And then the co-main event, I mean, you and Claudia Gadelha called Pantoja getting to the back, like, immediately. I mean, he hunted him down in the first round.
Yeah, that first round, he was on his back for, well, he had talking himself like 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, he just smothered him.
Yeah.
Didn't let him get anything off. And Pantoja's just a great champion.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. He's very, very good. I'm looking forward to him versus Van.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's got to irritate you guys, huh? Because
What?
Manel was right there, you know.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It's just a fight game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't understand the reasons why right now, but, you know, MMA universe or God or whatever puts things in front of you for you to find a way to conquer it, you know? And unfortunately, he's had bad luck, but it's more to me about perspective. Maybe it just wasn't our time yet, you know? So, you know, Josh Vance gets to jump the line because of opportunity, and good on him. It probably lines us up with like a Brandon Moreno fight now, you know, with Manel, something like that. I don't know. So we'll see.
Has he fought Moreno yet?
No.
No. That's going to be fun.
Nope. Yeah, but, you know, Pantoja, man, just what we said, get on his back while he's dry. You know, that was kind of the route. And then I think once you get there and you know, it's like, oh, dude, I can do this all day.
Yeah.
That's your route. That's your path to victory. And he just kept hunting the same thing over and over.
I thought he was going to get that head and arm in the first.
Yeah, the head arm, yeah.
I think Kai Kara France done well to get out of
that.
that.
Agreed.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, was it surprising that it looked like, was it surprising that it was that easy for Pantoja to get to Kai's back? Only because, like, they fought 9 years ago.
Sure.
Pantoja's style really hasn't changed too much, right? Like, you know his game plan. But it seemed like Kai just had like no answer.
Well, Pantoja used Kai's best offensive attribute against him. He was just loading up on big hooks, and he was just.
Yeah.
Who won the first fight?
Pantoja.
Pantoja.
Yeah.
They
Ultimate
fought
Fighter.
on the Ultimate
Oh,
Fighter.
the Ultimate
Yeah,
Fighter,
I think that was I think it was both of their first fights on the show.
Yeah, Joe B's and
Joe B and DJ.
Was
right?
it DJ?
Oh, no, Joe B and Cejudo.
Yeah, because it was
Yep.
DJ to fight whoever won the tournament for
Yep.
them.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Cejudo and
Joe
fought. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was at Pearl at the Palms.
Yeah.
Because DJ fought Tim Elliott.
That's right.
And Joe B fought Henry. Yeah, I remember that. That was another Megan in the bathroom type
praying.
Yeah.
Oh, Megan O'Leary.
Yeah, I just anyway, that fight's gonna be exciting. Like, I think Pantoja probably overwhelms Van.
Yeah.
In that one, but who knows, man? That kid's
What fight
special.
did you get to when you showed up to the arena?
The main card.
Main
I was
card?
there when that's a scary knockout.
Fuck, Hermanssen.
I didn't see it, man. I was putting my son down to bed, and I came back down, and Jack is just like out like that. I was like, oh, shit.
The ground and pound shot was just so unnecessary.
Yeah, her, bro. Come on, man.
Like I was saying before, if that's Goddard, he pushes him. He doesn't try and pull his hips away.
Yeah.
Because you can't stop that motion with a pull. He's already throwing it. If you push him, it's not going to hit him. He's going to bounce off the cage.
Yeah.
And he's won anyway. So I just...
And you know, there's another thing people forget. Yell stop.
Yeah.
Oh, the ref.
The ref.
Yeah.
Like, he says it like in the back. He's like,
Yeah.
when I grab you, like, you can also yell.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll stop.
Yeah, that was scary, man. I came back down and I saw him, and then I obviously saw the knockout.
And Jack was doing well, bro. Like, he's
Was he?
actually, he was actually doing pretty good. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a good fight.
Like
And then all of a sudden, bro, like when Brad fought RoboCop in the Apex, and you heard them fucking punches coming, that I was like, Brad, keep your goddamn hands up, man. That
He
dude's
looks
throwing
massive
lumber.
for 85.
He's huge, bro.
Like, he's so dense and like thick and
when you watch the back in slow motion, lad, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
That proper fucked with his brain.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you gotta take the rest of the year.
Bro, I wanted to ask you about the Chandler fight. Just massive improvements for me. Like coaching wise, we're saying this fight's gonna be fucking pretty close fight, right? Yeah. And then you went in there and just put on a master class. But most impressively, I really think that there's been so many improvements every time out for you guys and you and your team. We gave everybody credit because of that. But I mean, dude, it was an amazing scrap.
Yeah. I was gonna say, did you think that you'd just dominate him like that? Really?
He said in interviews all week, like, the only way he gets near me is he lands one of his big shots. And I said to him in the back, I was like, I said to everyone, it won't hurt me, but let's see if he hits you one. And he did. He got me one perfect when I leg kicked him. Yeah. He hit me with an overhand right on the chin, and I just looked at him. I went like that. And I think that. He's
like, oh shit.
I think that got in his head a bit. You know what I mean? Thinking, shit, I've just hit him with my best punch, and he hasn't went away. Where like he hit Porier with one, Oliveira with one, Gaethje with one, and they all stumbled. You know what I mean? He dropped Oliveira. Like, I think it got in his head a bit. But I said the whole time, I was like, I'm going to outstrike him. I'm going to use my range and beat him up. And then when it comes to the grappling, I thought, I'll be honest, I didn't think he'd try and take me down because of like the subs. But he took me down the first round, then got me down the second round. First round, got up. I'm gutted I never jumped for that flying triangle a bit more because I would have got it, I think. If I would have jumped, put more into it. But I used it to get up. Second round, I knew he tried to jump on me back and I knew he wouldn't get it. So from there on, I just used it to reverse, and the game plan started to come off even better after that. The elbows, and then the third round, after that knee, like I think he was like, wow, fuck this. Yeah. That knee. And then I remember speaking to DC the week of the fight. It was like, I'll take him down. He was like, you think you're going to take Michael Chandler down? I was like, I know I'm going to take Michael Chandler down. Yeah. Like, and then you hear him on the comments, when I pick him up and stand, he's like, oh. It's like, I told you I would. I told you I'd take him down. You know what I mean? And then we said beforehand it'll probably be a TKO because he won't let you get the sub. And that's what ended up happening. I was threatening with the sub to then go back to striking. Threatening with the sub to then get space to throw elbows. Yeah. And I love them 12 to 6 elbows. Like. Yeah, right? As I say, I am going to disfigure Ilia with a couple of them. Make his face not look the same ever again. Because Chandler's face doesn't look the same. He's got I seen him last night. Like, Chandler's a cool dude, I like him, but he's got a fucking scar under his eye and then one above the other eye. Yeah. It's like, shit, I done that.
He's got some scar tissue up there too, for sure. That was another fight where I knew you were taller than him, obviously, but I was surprised at how much bigger you looked than him, like thicker wise.
I thought that at the weigh-in anyway, and even before the weigh-in, when you do the Thursday press conference, stare down. But like when we stood in the cage, I looked opposite him and was like, yeah, you're not big at all. Yeah. Like, people have went on for years how big you are. Yeah. I was like wide ways. I was like, you're not that wide. Yeah. Like, I've always known you were small, but everyone went on like he was like that, lad. He wasn't. I felt so much bigger than him in there. Like, he didn't feel that strong. Like the first round when he picked me up and dropped me in that, and I stood up pretty easily. Yeah. You know what I mean? I thought he might have better pressure and where he's wrestled for years and then he's fought for years, but I felt fresh against him.
Yeah, bro, that was a dope fight.
It was super impressive. Yeah. What were some of the, to Eric's point earlier, like what were some of the things in camp that maybe you guys worked on the most? Because again, the jump in your ability was like evident from like the last fight to the Chandler fight. So what were some things you guys worked on?
Keeping my chin down. Probably the main thing we worked on. I used to lean all the time. I don't do it as much now. Like, keeping my chin down was one of the biggest things, because obviously he throws everything into every punch he throws. So we needed to make sure I was ready for that. For me, last couple of camps, I've worked my jab a lot, and that's paid off. But everything we done, we got videos of, and I put a video up about a week or two ago. Literally, my latest YouTube video was a breakdown, watching the fight back, me and my coach, and everything we were working in the fight camp come off, like doing fight run throughs with people mimicking what he's like the calf kick, just kicks in general, keeping him away. them getting on top, just ground and pound over anything.
Yeah.
Getting position to ground and pound. And as I say, literally everything that we done in our fight run-throughs, in our fight camp, what we worked on, come off. Like I was practicing knees all camp, but then we only started to do the jumping knee fight week. And there's videos of us in goat shed in the cage doing it. And literally it just come off perfect.
That's awesome. Isn't that cool how when that shit works out like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah, that's really cool. By the way, do you train with? I worked with Paul Smith, the boxer, for a little bit. But I remember him saying something like, did he train at your gym, or his kids maybe go train?
His kids do, yeah.
His kids do, yeah.
His kids train in our gym, yeah.
That's awesome. And they do MMA, or they do boxing?
They do MMA.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I was talking to Paul Smith. I think the last time I saw him was in Saudi for Ngannou and Joshua. But he was saying that, he's like, my kids go train and they do MMA.
They mainly do jiu-jitsu, I think. Like most of the kids just mainly do jiu-jitsu till they get a bit older.
Yeah.
How'd you get started?
I just started doing MMA.
Yeah.
I just went to gym like...
One of the new breeds where it's like...
exactly. We talk about this all the time.
Discipline,
yeah.
you just start doing MMA.
I watched one of the lads in the youth club put a fight on one time, Clay Guida and Diego Sanchez.
Oh, yeah.
And I was sitting there just like, this is sick, this. I need to have a go with this. And then Rich Franklin got knocked out by Vitor Belfort.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the first UFC 103, first event I watched live. And I can remember at like 6 in the morning going for a run after it and being like, I'm gonna do this.
That's sick.
And then I walked in the gym on January 20th, 2010. And as they say, the rest is history. I never stopped training. Obviously, I excelled in jiu-jitsu first. Like I won a couple of grappling tournaments and stuff like that. And then I got offered a fight on a week's notice when I was 16 against someone who was 24. I was just like, yeah, I'll do it. And I just grappled, fucked him for 3 rounds. And then...
Was that amateur? That was your first amateur fight?
I had 9 amateur fights and won them all. And that was when after a few fights, I sent that tweet to Dana saying I'm a amateur champ in the UK and I'll be working with you one day.
Yeah.
That was in like 2011.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I read that you had your first pro fight at 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the UK, can you do that at 17, or did you have to get approval, or what?
No, you can't anymore. That was like the Wild West days of MMA still. It wasn't like as regulated as it is now. But I couldn't fight on Cage Warriors because obviously you had to be 18 to fight on that. But I was fighting in some shithole in Liverpool called the Olympia. The promoter there weren't asked.
I did a boxing event there.
Did you?
I worked a boxing event, the Olympia. Yeah,
it's a shithole, isn't it?
It was freezing. Bro.
Yeah, it's freezing.
It was so fucking cold in this building. I'm like, God,
the owner's that tight, he won't put the eating on.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
And,
it was freezing.
Like I had like 7 amateur fights in there and 2 on different shows, but I remember putting on a forum at the time, like, I am the best amateur bantamweight in the country, does anyone dispute this? People were putting names in, and they just kept ticking names off the list. And then like some of them didn't end up fighting because like one of the people I'd beat them and stuff like that. So when it got to that point and I was 9-0, there was no one left to fight. So I had no choice but to go pro. You know what I mean? And I had 3 fights in the Olympia and then signed for Cage Warriors like early when I was 18, like 2 months after I was 18, 3 months after I was 18, and then just fought on there mainly until I got into the UFC.
Yeah.
And you fought Julian Arosa.
Yeah. We had Julian on here. We talked about that fight. Do you keep in contact with any other like past opponents or anything?
Not really, to be honest. No. But Julian's cool. I always say now as well, if the judging system was the way it is now, Julian would have won that fight.
Wow.
There's no the way that obviously they changed the scoring system. Because I gasped bad in that fight.
Oh, he says when you threw up.
Yeah.
Right after, right?
And the first 3 rounds I just wrestle fucked him. You know what I mean? Came out trying to strike and he caught me with better shots. He dropped me at one point and I just grabbed his legs, you know what I mean? Where now with the new judging system where he dropped me, he probably would have won the round.
Oh, because of damage.
Yeah, because of damage. But they hadn't been changed yet. Luckily enough for me.
Were you cutting a 45 back then?
That one I cut. That one I cut a stupid amount of weight because I was 18 pounds or something. And I was only like 21. And like, as I say, did affect me in the fight. When we got into the 4th and 5th round, Julian was just walking me down, and I was just doing my best to survive. You know what I mean? I was just like on the back foot constantly. Julian was literally just walking me down.
So crazy, bro. You'll work 8 weeks on a game plan, and then the bell rings, and Julian's like, fucking what game plan?
I literally got asked yesterday, he was like, who'd you like to watch? And I was like, to be honest, Julian Rosa is one of my favourite people to watch because he just walks at someone and throws punches, lad. Yeah. He doesn't give a fuck. He just walks forward throwing punches, and I'm like, yeah, they're the sort of...
Did you see his last fight?
Yeah.
He gets kicked right in the nuts, and he's like, I don't give a fuck. He just keeps walking. I'm like, bro, take the fight, man.
He's ready at all times to just have a scrap, lad, and that's why, I think he's one of the most entertaining fighters to watch, lad. He is. He's up there. He just... As you say, probably frustrating for you because you've worked on a game plan with him for so long, and then he gets smacked in the face and just goes, "Let's throw down, motherfucker." You know what I mean?
The best was Eddie. You know, I coached with Eddie with Julian, and then like the bell rings, and then like it was Christian Rodriguez fight, and this whole thing, and then Eddie just dead ass looks at me and goes, "Julian hates a game plan, huh?" I was like, just calm and just like we're not even gonna yell at the guy anymore. Like, dude, fuck it. How was your sparring round with Strickland?
Oh, it was good. I enjoyed that.
He's a big fucker, huh?
Yeah, he's a big fucker. I'm a big fucker as well, like, but he's a big fucker. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was about, as I say now, I'm about 195. They're touching 200 now and then.
Sean's like 240.
Yeah.
230.
But like,
he's huge, bro.
He blew up, huh?
I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I like sparring with different people. I like getting different looks in, and you know, he's a former UFC middleweight champion. Yeah. It's nice to just have a little mess around with him. Like, I hit me hamstring sparring with him, but not his fault. It was my fault. You know what I mean? Went to single leg him, and he sprawled on it. We ended up in this weird position, and then me legs slipped and just
got a little bit of that. Yeah,
just up here. It's still sore, but it's not as bad now. It's starting to go away.
Good.
But felt like we had a nice little spar on the feet, and then I think he went to kick me and he ended up on top of him, grabbed his leg on top. I was like, yeah, you're staying here now. You're staying here now. I'm not letting you back up to teat me in the stomach again.
He can actually wrestle, man. Like, I wish he used it more.
Everybody says that. Dude, like, everyone in the gym says it. They all say, you know, Sean can wrestle if he wants to.
Good grappling.
He's got good grappling. Doesn't use a fucking lick of it.
No, not even, bro.
But he's got it. He's got it there.
He just loves scrapping, lad. That's the sick thing about him. He just loves scrapping.
Yeah, he does. Any update with him and Izzy? Have they been talking at all? Do you know?
Izzy was in the gym. He came in the gym.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, they were filming something on Friday. And, you know, dude, I love Izzy. And he's just like, how's Sean? Everything good with Sean? I'm like, yeah. I guess. But he was like asking like nicely. And I go, his locker's over here if you want to take a shit in there. Or, you know, just kind of fucking with Izzy. But I don't know. I mean, if that would sound like the fight to make, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. He's cool. I was with him on Friday night. He's a nice dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
He's awesome, man. When they came out to Saudi for that fight, it was just like seeing a whole different side of him, and that was the shit. Speaking of sparring, like, are you one of these guys that, like, in camp, are you looking outside of your gym or bringing different looks in, or are you kind of like set with the guys?
We try to, you know what I mean? I've got the best foundation of guys in the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've got lads in the gym to do every single different style for me. But last camp I got a lad in Ryan Scope, and it was good for Chandler because he was big. He had good boxing and stuff, good grappling. If the Ilia fight does happen, I'm going to probably go and do a lot of boxing sparring.
Yeah.
Get a few boxers in and go and do some boxing sparring. But just going to have to get some midgets in. You know what I mean? Not many people in my gym are that small. Even the best person in the gym to mimic him, because he'd do it for me, would be Luke Riley, who's probably going to be in the UFC soon. But he's longer than Ilia, you know what I mean? He's taller, but he could definitely play his style out for me because he's probably got better boxing now.
Yeah. You been at the same gym since you started?
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, since day one.
You and Molly as well?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Day one of being with Next Gen. I've never trained anywhere else. And I'm never going to. You know what I mean? I'll go and do sessions and stuff in other places when I'm away and stuff like that, but you'd never catch me doing a comp anywhere
I think
else.
that part's important too. Like, I'm the same way with Dan. Like, Ige and I, bro, when you're go train with Whitman and go get some other looks. Doesn't mean you're leaving, right? But evolution to the game that you have to kind of, go through that process and see what else is out there time to time, but then just bring it home.
Yeah.
And teach it, show it.
I think the relationship's important. You know what I mean? Like, you've got that with your fighters. You know what I mean? But a lot of these other gyms, like the ATTs of the world, the what's it called? Like the Kill Cliff and that. There's that many fighters. They can't have like the coach's attention all the time. They can't build that relationship, that foundation.
It's hard.
Like, I can remember watching a fight not so long ago, and two people were fighting. They said they train at the same gym.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like, they just don't go on the mats at the same time. One goes in, and it's like, what? You're going to be training with the same people, using the same coaches. How can you fight out the same gym and fight each other? Yeah. It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's so difficult when you get those bigger gyms to that capacity. I mean, we've had guys fight, but we've avoided it as much as possible. Like, I remember probably a year and a half ago, they were trying to book Roman and Sean Strickland. And I'm like, I coach both of them. Yeah. I've been like, what do you want me to do? You know? And they're like, well, either sit out or coach one or the other. And I'm like, no, there's more middleweights for us to fight. Yeah. And I get it. If it's for a title, then by all means, I'll sit out. Yeah. But, you get those bigger gyms, and it's like, literally at ATT, it's like Mike Brown. We'll see Mike Brown in a corner. You might see Pumpa in a corner. Yeah. Training out of the same gym, man. It's tough.
Yeah.
Like that, I think for me, that would be the only better thing about going and training somewhere else would be the different sparring partners.
Sure.
Because there's that many people on the mats. You get loads of different looks. That'd be the only thing I think would be beneficial.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Get on the sports betting action by going to mybookie.ag. At MyBookie, it's easy. You bet, you win, they pay. MyBookie has over 150 bets for you to choose from anything from fights, hoops, football, prop bets, minute bets. It's all there. Head to mybookie.ag and use code VERSUSPOD. Not only will you get a 50% bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000, you'll also get a $10 casino chip. That's a lot of money there. I've seen large parlays cash for less. Every once in a while, again, head to mybookie.ag and use the code VERSUSPOD. You bet, you win, they pay. Now let's get back to the show.
Yeah. Gaethje came in. You guys missed him. Like, Gaethje came in and sparred that Tuesday when you came in and sparred. He was in there he came in at night, sparred Ige, right off the golf course, right? Golf shorts. No mouthpiece,
just
no cup. Just runs in and starts sparring Ige, and I was like, "Bro,
sounds like
the last thing I need right now." We're 3 weeks out from Dan fighting, and I got drunk Gaethje on Zins, packing Zins for a mouthpiece. I'm like, this fucking guy.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you bring up about being like a cog in the wheel with those bigger gyms, because I guess that's the trade-off, right? Like, you either want the specialized coaching or a room full of like legit sparring partners with less specialized coaching. Like, is that kind of the trade-off? You know what I mean? Like,
each is their own though, bro. Like, this is all he knows is that style of gym. And I was brought up in a big gym. It's different at times, yes, but ideally, you never want your guys to have to cross paths and fight. Evan Dunham fought Tyson Griffin, same gym. And it was just a matter of opportunity. How do you take that opportunity away from Evan in that moment, right? Yeah. Like, Evan was the kind of the B-side in that fight and ended up beating Tyson, and it turned into an issue in the gym,
Yeah.
So it's tough.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought of it like that. Like, having the small gym, you get the good coaching, but maybe not as good, or maybe not as many sparring partners.
Yeah, no, you don't have as many sparring partners, but
the flip
it's more like focused, more specialised than like certain things.
Yeah.
Like, as I say, we get breakdowns made. There's a lad who comes to our gym, Carl Monfield. He's a proper fight nerd, aren't you, Carl? And he makes us these breakdowns, lad, and the next level. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we end up game planning so good, because we have a breakdown that goes over every single thing that the person does, every single thing that's they're good at, every single thing they're weak at, and it comes to fruition when fight night comes.
Yeah. What's a typical week for you in camp, training wise?
Monday, I'll generally, like, every morning I'm in Next Gen for 10 till 12, an hour of MMA strike and MMA grappling. That's Monday, Wednesday, Friday though. Friday I'll normally do, like, in fight camp, I'll do like private sessions with the coaches while another coach takes the class. When people have got fights coming up, Paul will take them out and do like one-to-one stuff with them, working on the fight. Tuesday, Thursday morning we spar. Tuesday we spar with the big gloves, no head guard. Thursday we spar with the little gloves, head guard. Monday afternoon I'll box. Thursday afternoon normally I'll box again, just me and my coach privately, where we have like a couple of the lads in and we have a few boxers and MMA fighters who all train together with my boxing coach. And then Wednesday, Saturday I'll do my S&C, I'll lift, and then obviously fitting runs in and things like that as well. Like sometimes I have to get up and run of a morning before I go and train, just to help get the pounds off.
Yeah.
You still do the road work and stuff like that, like the old school kind of road work running and stuff?
Yeah. I'd rather run on a road than a treadmill.
Yeah.
I get bored on a treadmill.
Remember Francis? Dewey's like, yeah, Francis, we got to do road work for these boxing fights. And Francis is like, no.
Yeah, just straight up.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to do the skier and I'm going to do the bike and I'm going to do this. Because Dewey's like old school boxing, old school boxing coach. He's like, you got to get out there and hit the pavement. And Francis is like,
yeah, fuck that.
No.
His knees probably can't really get
Oh,
with
yeah.
that. Though,
That's a
you know
lot
what I
of
mean?
weight.
All the surgeries he's had and stuff like that. It's just more wear and tear on his knees.
Yeah, we've eliminated a lot of road work for most of our guys too. Like Zell Huber was having bad shin splints because he was running so much. But I think a lot of that's for guys that they're bigger, so the road work helps keep the weight low.
Yeah. Like I don't feel like I burn anywhere near as much like calories and get the fat off when I'm on like a bike. Like it just doesn't do it for me. Me whoop says it doesn't do it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I burn so many more calories running, or even walking.
Yeah.
I enjoy just walking with the dog. I done that a lot of my last fight camp, just from like 3-4 weeks out. I was walking a lot, just taking the dog for like a couple of mile walk.
How'd you train for Michael Chandler? I walked my dog.
Because that's how the fight went.
Exactly. Straight up.
Shit.
Straight up.
What's family like for you during camp?
Laura picks up a lot more of the slack, you know what I mean? She steps up and does a lot more with the kids, you know what I mean? Because she knows that I'm fucked, basically. I haven't got as much energy and I can't really focus as much on them. I have to focus on me fight, you know what I mean? I have to get ready for the fight. So it's as I say, she's the best mum ever, lads.
Yeah.
It's hard work with two of them at the same time.
I'll tell you what, if you see someone successful in their fight career and they're married, that spouse
does so much.
I mean, I'm telling you, because they understand the system. Help me, help you, and we're all gonna But we've been around those wives and girlfriends where it's like they're a detriment, right? But when you see ones that are successful, I swear to you, you can point at a good spouse, helping, making that situation better, allowing this guy to go out and train and do his job. That's the way it should be.
Like the Bobby Green fight. The babies were born start of April 12th, and I fought him like the 28th of July.
Yeah.
So like all like the night feeds and that around that time, she was doing them all on her own.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. That's,
she was obviously leaving me asleep, letting me get me resting and stuff like that. Because they were born April 12th and I had to start fight camp like the end of May. Start of June. And she obviously had to pick up all the slack, do all the night feeds, clean all the bottles, stuff like that. And
what was that feeling like when you found out you're having twins?
I called it, I said, like...
Just twins running either of your families?
But my dad's a twin and her nan's a twin.
Oh, dude,
so we've always thought it. But because they're identical, it's not hereditary. The egg just split.
Oh, shit.
So I think we're going to have more twins. You
think you'll have more?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Imagine two different sets of identical twins.
No, I'm good.
Oh, my God.
I want a set of boys would be sound.
Yeah.
But, like I said before we even got a scan, I was like, you're having twins. I can just see it. Yeah. And then we got the scan, said we were having twins. And then before the next scan, I said it's going to be 2 girls. I just know it. And surely enough, it was 2 girls.
Yeah. Oh, it's 2 girls?
Yeah.
I thought you had a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 2 girls?
Yeah, 2 girls, identical. They fucking spitting image of each other. Lad.
That's awesome.
Like, some days I get confused. Luckily enough, Blaze's mum got them 2 bangles.
Yeah, so you got to put something on. So
Betsy has hers on the right wrist, Margot has hers on the left wrist. So that helps me a lot.
That's awesome.
What was like fighting like after having, your twins? Like the Bobby Green fight, the Michael Chandler
Got an
fight.
extra motivation, though. I mean, you've got little mouths to feed. You've got to get food on the table, and I don't know, it just gives me an extra motivation. I haven't noticed it myself, obviously, because it's me. I don't notice things, but my coaches and that have said that I train harder.
Yeah, it's fucking dad strength, bro. Like, this is all coming together now.
Yeah.
I'm saying
this is science.
Yeah.
I'm more focused and things like that. I was already dedicated and worked hard, but it's even stronger now.
That's awesome.
I've got 2 little girls, lad, that I need to not just feed, make proud. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's the best. It's the absolute best. My son's 10 months old, so I just had mine
nice.
recently. So I wanted to ask you about that because we talk about it a lot. Like, Eric has 3 kids. Everyone we've had on here, most of them have kids. And so I'm always interested to see how, like, fight camps go, how fighting is, like, before and after. Can you compare, or do you even remember kind of, you know, your mindset, how your mindset was before the twins for the fight before Bobby Green versus after?
Well, it was just, I was doing it for, obviously I was still doing it for like my wife and my family and stuff like that, but it was more for me, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Because I've always said I was going to be a champion and this and that, but it was like, I was still doing it for my wife to provide and doing it for my family to make them proud and my friends and my team. But it's just different, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you've got like little kids. There's no feeling like it. Like, especially when there's 2 of them. And
it's crazy.
It's just, I don't know, I can't really describe it. But I think, looking back, I probably now and then was a bit lazy when I was in fight camps before the girls, because I could be. I was only doing it for me. Like, if I lost, it was only on me, really.
Yeah.
Now, I've got to think about them.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about the foundation, the Baddy Foundation, because, you know, you had that one post-fight interview where you talked about men's mental health, and, you know, you've done a lot. So can you touch on that a little bit? Like, what are you guys doing? What is the Baddy Foundation? What are you guys doing with that currently?
Well, it's obviously it's mainly to help men with mental issues, because I've been there before myself. Before that speech, like, someone I know, a friend, had killed himself, jumped on in front of a train, like, less than 48 hours before I was due to fight. It still happens now. Someone else, I actually went to a funeral the day before I came to America, because someone else I know had killed themselves, another male who's not long got married, he's got 2 kids. So it's just getting it out there. Both of these people I'm talking about never spoke to anyone. They were like the happiest people in the room if you was out having a drink with them or anything like that. They were the life and soul of the party, and it seems to always be that type of character what does kill themselves. It's weird, you know what I mean? Like, it always seems to be the person what's like always big smile on the face, dead happy, and they end up taking their own life. But the Baddy Foundation is to help that. You know, we don't. I went to a place called James's Place when I was struggling to get like one-to-one counselling, and it's free of charge. You know what I mean? But it's not government funded, so we donated enough money to have another member of staff, like a counsellor, on for 2 years on paid a wage. Wow. So hopefully that's changed a lot of men's lives, and there's more men not want to kill themselves for that reason. Also, it's a little bit to help like kids in my city. You know what I mean? It's more for men's mental health, but it's also to help like kids in the city. Hopefully, be able to give some funding for kids who aren't like eating or getting the stuff what they need at home.
It's incredible, man. I really respect that. Do you talk to a therapist on a regular basis, or did you kind of just have that as like a one-off?
No, it wasn't a one-off. Like, I was going to see her week in, week out for a couple of months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I thought about it, like, obviously I wouldn't ever think about it now because I've got 2 little girls. But back then I didn't have that. I wasn't married. I was still with the missus, but fighting, after there, fighting was the main thing in my life. And at one point I lost 2 out of 3 fights. I'd turned the UFC down twice. I was like, wow, are these even ever going to ask me again when I've lost a couple of fights like that? So I was thinking, my head was proper scrambled. I didn't know. After I lost that second fight, I shouldn't have fought. I got surgery on the 10th of May and fought on like the 1st of September on my hand. And I went to choke him in the first round, and it was the arm what was broke but I just got fixed underneath his chin. I had a squeeze for about a minute, but where I didn't have the strength in that arm, where I hadn't been able to do nothing with it, it just never had the strength. Like, if I had the other arm under, he would have went asleep. But I had that arm under. And it's one of them. Next round, I punched him in the face and broke my hand again. And then he won round 3, 4, and 5. So, it was one of them. Like, after that fight, I was just waking up every morning crying. Mrs. was going to work. I was just waking up, rolling over in bed and just crying, like, how did that happen? But when you look back now, it made me who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without that, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't have the mental fortitude I've got. I probably wouldn't have such an affiliation with men's mental health because I went through it myself. But my therapist, she messaged me 2 days ago, told me about Jane, she's boss. She, obviously when I get out, she messaged me saying, I always like to check in with you when you talk about it in an interview. Because when I get asked about it and like speak about it, she must have seen it online and thought, oh, I like to check in on you, make sure you're okay.
That's amazing. That's really cool. Yeah, I think that's so important. We talk about it with a lot of our guests, like especially in this sport. It's not basketball, it's not baseball, football, whatever.
I always say with them, you've got a team. It's not just on you when you lose. Where when you get in the cage and you fight, it's on you.
Yeah,
it's only you. You can't blame anyone else.
Yeah,
you're the person who goes in there and wins or loses.
Right.
You can't blame anyone else. Like team sports, lad, it mightn't be your fault, lad. You're just there, but fighting, it's a completely different ball game.
Yeah. What's interesting too is a lot of all of the athletes we talk about this with bring up that, like the mental part of it. Like I let the coaches down. It's me. Never bring up the physical part.
Yeah.
Even though like that's also part of it. Like you're in a physical one-on-one battle. Like again, it's not basketball, baseball, whatever. And so I just think it's important. Like I was talking to someone about asking if the UFC or any of these organizations like provide like a staff therapist, or like someone that just athletes can talk to. Because I think
the PI has Micah, but I don't know if that if you have to pay extra for him. But Micah's great.
Yeah,
and he played for the White Sox. He played baseball. So
did he?
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, he was a high level Major League Baseball player.
Nice.
But a lot of the guys that I know use him. I know Ige goes to him all the time, but it's helped him a ton. Just as far as I think processing your thoughts.
Yeah.
Right. But dude, this is part of the game that just you're never gonna be perfect at the mental side of the game.
Yeah.
You're just not. Like it's a constant battle. And once you accept that, it's like, hey, some days you're gonna feel depressed, some days you're gonna feel up or down or whatever. But when it comes about perspective, I think that's your best way to navigate through a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. We'll switch gears back to fighting. If for whatever reason the Ilia fight isn't next, what is on your roadmap? Like, is there someone else that you would want outside of Ilia? That makes sense.
I think it'd more than likely be Gaethje.
Gaethje?
Oh, that'd be sick.
That would be sick.
I think it'd more than likely be Gaethje, to be honest. Because I don't think anyone cares about watching Arman Tsarukyan fight.
Yeah.
I mean, he's made himself irrelevant. He got put on the screen yesterday and was getting booed.
Yeah.
It says it all. I mean, no one gives a fuck about him. Even though he's number one contender, I can see him not fighting for the belt for a long time. But I reckon it'd be Gaethje, because obviously Porier's retiring. Halloway's going to have a fucking war with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're not fighting for a few months.
Yeah, they're out the rest of the year after that fight.
The rest of that. Once them two are throwing down, like they're out for the rest of the year, them two.
Yeah.
Danocha, maybe, but I think I'll end up getting someone ranked higher. And then there's fucking Gamrot's boring ass. No one wants to watch Gamrot either. You know what I mean? He's just about beat someone unranked the other week in the Apex.
Yeah.
That's how much people care about him, lad. He fights in the Apex.
Dude, how much fun is it fighting at the O2?
That's sick. Just fighting in the UK in general.
Yeah.
Like I always say, the crowds are next level.
Yeah.
They really are.
Like my last one in Manchester, even though it was I didn't walk out until about 5 in the morning, 4:45 in the morning, and when I walked out, lad, the crowd went nuts.
Yeah.
And they were all half asleep until my music come on.
Yeah.
Like, the crowd went absolutely nuts. Like, I always say, I know they don't like doing stadiums, but if they ever come to Anfield, Liverpool Stadium, they've never felt an atmosphere like it.
Dude, the O2, I swear, because I think we shared a couple cards with guys that we had as well. but when Chris Curtis fought Jack Hermanssen, and then like Chris Curtis came out the Darren Till song.
Oh yeah,
because he was replacing Till.
Sweet Caroline. Right?
Yeah, dude, that play, dude, it was electric.
Yeah,
it was electric. It was one of the best atmospheres I've ever been in. You know, it was crazy.
Yeah, Till Masvidal, I think was the 0-2.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And then the
Ige
best
fought on that card.
Huh?
Ige fought on that card.
Yeah. And then the best UK crowd ever, I think I told this story before, was when I worked Bisping Henderson 2.
Oh,
the
yeah.
rematch in Manchester. Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I worked that fight. I actually walked back to the hotel with Megan Olivia at like 6:30 in the morning.
God.
But these motherfuckers, dude, I think the first fight was 11 p.m. or midnight.
Yeah, that was another one where they done it in the middle of the night.
Yeah. And I'm talking, they were so loud for 7 hours. And then obviously when Bisping walked out, they went crazy. But I'd never seen one of the very few crowds I've seen that hyped for so long and so loud. But that Manchester fight was crazy.
Yeah, it's the thing when you do fights in the UK, lad. Most people are there from the first fight.
Yeah.
Where when like I always come to shows in Vegas, people aren't getting there till the main card starts and stuff. Because we're
spoiled.
Yeah, we only get like one show a year.
Yeah.
People are there from the very first fight, lad. People get there early.
Yeah. But even the football was like that too. I went to Anfield when I was in that same Olympia show I was telling you about. I don't know how I got a ticket, but I went to Man United and Liverpool in Anfield, and it was like, bro, it was like the coolest experience. And they beat the shit out of Man United that day. It was like 5-0 or 4-0.
Yeah, the last few times we've played them, we've slapped them. Like,
yeah, when was it? This was like 20.
We've beat them 5-0 and 7-0 at home.
Ronaldo was on Man United at the time.
3 years ago, then 4 years ago.
21, 22, something like that. But it was awesome. I went with Paul Smith actually. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, it was. They just show up, man. Like the UK crowds just show up. I don't know how to describe it. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, when I went that Miami Heat game, I was saying to players, going, lad, why is no one here?
Oh yeah. Especially Miami.
He said that they're known for it, but the game had started.
Bro, they walked out during. There's a famous game when LeBron was on the Heat during the NBA Finals. People weren't even showing up till like the second quarter. It's the NBA, like the Heat are in the finals. Like they could win the finals tonight. Yeah. And people weren't showing up till the second quarter.
That's crazy.
It's like, bro, okay, Miami's great, but like, come on, man.
Yeah,
like,
no shit.
It's the finals, you know? So Gaethje, real quick on the Halloway Porier fight, can you give us like a little bit of a breakdown for that? Like, who do you think walks away from that? Because Poirier's 2-0 against it.
I know, that's what I mean. Imagine it'd be heavy for Holloway that like if there's two different fighters who've beat him 3 times.
Yeah.
But
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
I seen him say something like, you know, he took a lot from me. He took give me my first loss, and he took away me like 8-fight win streak or whatever it was. So I'm gonna take his retirement fight.
Oh,
so I think
that's cold.
Yeah,
that's tight. Yeah,
I think Holloway's motivated, like, and I can see Holloway winning. To be honest, don't know why. I think it's just one of them. Or Dustin fighting in his hometown, his last fight. Everyone expects him to win. The pressure. I think it might.
Man, you picked Holloway too. Like, he could have probably picked someone that was a little more favorable. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you know why?
He might think it's a bit more favorable because he's beaten twice, though.
Sure, I think so. I think so. Yeah, but I mean, but it's also the business move because you need to have a title for a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And you don't need that
right?
shit. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Who's going to walk out first? Who's going to walk out second? Because they're saying
you can't have Poirier walk out first.
That's what I mean. And they're saying it's the BMF belt, his own town. He's coming out. He might come out first. Like
it is Holloway versus Poirier too, right? On the bill.
Yeah. And then Ige and Pitbull are the co-main.
Yeah. That's right.
Yep.
And Zell Huber and Michael Johnson on that card.
Yeah,
that's a fun fight. I like that fight a lot. Actually.
Michael Johnson's still going, man.
I know.
I know.
Since I started watching you, I watched the season of The Ultimate Fighter he was on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't watch them anymore, but I watched that season.
Nobody does.
Who are some of your inspirations coming up?
I love Big Nog.
Yeah?
Yeah, Big Nog's like my favourite fighter. Like, just the amount of heart he had and he didn't quit.
Yeah.
He just keep coming forward, keep fighting, no matter what, until he was unconscious or his arm was
He's
snapped.
such a nice guy too, man.
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Like he's when I first started watching MMA, I was like, yeah, he's who I'd like to be like. You know what I mean? Obviously, my first live event to watch was Vitor Belfort knocking Rich Franklin out, so I always liked Vitor Belfort.
Yeah.
But then like, I used to love Rampage. Rampage.
Yeah,
Funny
Rampage
as,
is great.
Yeah, Rampage funny.
I just
as
held
fuck.
for Vitor this week. I hadn't
was gonna
seen
say,
him
I
for
saw
a
him
while.
and his son were in the gym, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Davi.
Yeah, his son's like, what, committed to Virginia Tech, right?
Well, he transferred to UCF, but he was
Oh.
a quarterback at VT, and then
Yeah.
he just transferred.
Yeah, he's supposed to be really
but
good.
Dude, Vitor, you know, with Davi would be on our mats at like 4 years old,
Yeah.
5 years old, you know, so it's cool seeing him. Yeah, Vitor still got it, bro.
Yeah.
He still got it, yeah.
He's a fucking absolute
Yeah.
unit.
Yeah.
Seen him the other day, lad. He was bursting out of his jumper. It's like that.
Oh, bro, at one point it was like Randy, Vandelay, Forrest, Vitor. Like those are the rounds.
All at Extreme
At
Couture.
Extreme, right?
Yeah,
Like
sick, that.
it was just pay-per-view rounds every
Yeah.
day when you showed up to that gym, bro. It's nuts.
Who are some guys that you watch currently in the UFC that maybe you're a fan of or you like to watch them fight?
Charles until last night. No, like I was saying before, I love watching Julian fight, lad.
Yeah.
Because he just throws down. And even before last night, I like to watch Joshua Vance. Like he comes out to have a scrap.
23, man.
That's
Training for
amazing.
5 years.
Amazing.
That's crazy.
Like Diego Lopez said it when he won a belt in 2021 on a card, I don't know where it was, I don't know if he said Mexico or America, Joshua Vance had his debut in
That's
2021.
crazy.
But I love watching Tom Aspinall fight. 'Cause I know they don't last long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
Yeah.
but he's fucking good, man.
he comes
Is
out
Gone
and,
next
Has to be
Paris or no?
well, he's already beat Volkov, hasn't he? So it
Yeah.
has to be gone.
Yeah.
He's going to get a third title shot.
That's crazy.
right. Yeah.
That's so
But I mean,
crazy.
if you're Tom's, like, who gives a shit? Just give me a fight,
Yeah.
right? Like, let's get this thing
When
rolling.
I was with him the other week, that's what he was saying. He was like, I'm just sick of not fighting now. He was
Yeah.
like, as you know, we want to fight, don't we? I was like, yeah, we want to fight. That's like, it's just bred into us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to be sitting out waiting, lad. You want to fight.
How far is Tom from you guys?
40-minute drive.
Okay, not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad
Yeah,
at
not
all.
too bad. I didn't get a chance to see him this week. He hit me up, and then he's like, and then you told me about
his
the airline.
flight
I
got
was like,
fucking
oh shit.
delayed, and then
Yeah.
he got cancelled, moved on to a different flight, so we never got here till like 36 hours
Oh,
after he was
that's
meant
tough.
to.
Oh man.
That's tough.
Yeah, I feel for him. He's got to be like just dying. That's another thing too. And I'll ask you, like, I feel like you guys need that release. Like as fighters, you like 2 years, 3 years is like, if you're not injured, it's like I feel like there's just stuff festering.
Yeah.
Like it's just building up in you.
Yeah,
and
you want
like,
to punch someone in the
yeah,
face.
you just like need that like fucking release to like get in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what you're training for. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You're trained to fight, so you don't want to be training all the time and not fighting. You want to put the work to fruition. You want to
Yeah.
actually get in there and show everyone what you've been working on.
Yeah.
So, but what he said was true, wasn't it? I'm going to retire John without fighting him.
Yeah.
That is aged so well.
Yeah. All right, we'll get you out of here on this. I want to get your top 5 fighters, MMA or boxing, from the UK.
Probably just go with MMA fighters, lad.
Okay.
I like boxing, obviously, but it's
I was just giving you the option.
boring.
Yeah.
It's boring now.
Yeah.
Like,
Although Canelo, I can't wait for Canelo.
yeah, that's like
Crawford,
one of the
bro.
only fights
I
that I've been
know.
excited
Yeah,
for a bit.
Yeah.
Like,
It's at Allegiant, yeah.
Like,
Yeah. which is
boxing's half
crazy.
boring for me now. Like, now the Saudis have come in and got involved a bit, it's a bit more exciting because
Yeah.
people are actually fighting each other.
Yeah.
Where no one used to fight each other. They used to
Yeah.
avoid each other like the plague, where you can't do that in the UFC. But best UK fights of all time, we've got to have Leon and Tom in there, and Bisbee. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And then Till's fought for the title. Probably have Till in there. Can't have myself in it.
Not yet.
And then probably Molly. Or Rosie as well. Rosie Sexton.
Rosie
First
Sexton.
ever woman
Yeah.
to fight in the UFC from the UK. She was, when I first started training when I was 15, I was one of her sparring partners because I was so small. You know what I mean? I was like one of the only people who could go with her.
That's
all
actually
all the
amazing.
other lads are a bit too big for her. But yeah, as I say, I'd probably just go with all MMA fighters. I'm not the biggest boxing fan.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, Canelo Crawford is gonna be awesome.
It's just gonna be, let's see what he's like going up to that weight because it's a big weight difference, isn't it?
He's jumping what? His last fight was 47, right? I think, and Canelo's 68. So he's
That's what I
jumping
mean, lad. He's doing
21 pounds.
He's doing a big jump up.
Yeah.
Big, but give him his due. give it a bit of time, hasn't he? And hopefully he's put a bit of muscle on.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Crawford win that.
Yeah, I think he will.
Yeah.
Me personally, I like watching boxing. I'm a big boxing fan. I think he will. I think his style matches up really well with
I hope he does.
Canelo.
Sick of Canelo.
I'll tell you what, Canelo lands. It's fucking good night.
Especially that weight.
It's a good night. All right, anything else you wanna add?
Nope. Fucking
Good.
great to have you on, bro.
Yeah,
I know you were
thank you for
doing
doing
shit
this.
all week,
I know.
media-wise, so
Yeah.
appreciate Graham and the boys. But,
Yeah.
always nice having you in the gym, too. It's great having you bring the energy in. And
whenever I'm in Vegas, I'll always pop in, because obviously we need to train.
Yeah.
And before I came in, I hadn't trained for like 2 weeks where I'd been sick. So I needed to get a session in, and just jumping on and sparring straight away is perfect for me.
Well, great to have you in, brother.
Yeah, thank you for doing it, man. I know you had a crazy 36 hours, whatever, here in Vegas. So thank you. And hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Yeah.
After you fight Ilia.
After I win the belt.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
After I take his chin on with me.
Yep. Awesome. All right, that does it for another episode of Verse Us with Eric Nixick. Please make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. Leave a comment below. Let us know who you want to see on the show, any questions you have for Eric, the guests, anything. Also, make sure you download the audio version of the podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever. And also, please follow the show on social media at VSUS Pod. For Eric and Paddy, I'm Randy. We'll see you guys next time.